We begin with the latest on the 5-year-old son of singing star Usher, recovering in a hospital this morning after nearly drowning when he was sucked into a swimming pool drain at his home. ABC's Steve Osunsami reporting from Atlanta this morning. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Robin. It is a sensitive situation at the hospital behind me. The child of a celebrity here. We hear that Usher has been by his son's side and that the boy is lucky he survived.
What's the address of emergency? I need the ambulance.
The woman struggling for breath and begging for help on these 911 calls is R&B singer Usher Raymond's aunt, who was home watching his children Monday.
My nephew was in the pool, and he went. I couldn't get him in. I couldn't get him.
The singer wasn't there, but his 5-year-old son, Usher Raymond V, had his hand caught in a drain at the bottom of the family pool, reportedly trying to get at a lost toy. He was about to drown. Aunt Rena Oden dove in after him, and so did the housekeeper, but they couldn't shake him free. 2 contractors who were inside ran to help, freeing the boy, but he wasn't breathing.
CPR on him. Yes, they're doing CPR on him now.
One of the contractors, Eugene Stachersky, who administered CPR on the side of that pool, is being credited this morning with saving the child's life.
Is he breathing? Is he breathing? He's breathing. Yes, ma'am. The ambulance is here.
This isn't the first time the Grammy award-winning singer has found his family's hardship making headlines. Just last year, he was forced to face the death of his former stepson, Kyle Glover, when the 11-year-old died in an awful jet ski accident. In the days before, the singer spoke with Robin about the joys of parenthood.
What are you hoping to impart?
Well, no one knows your child like you do, and it is taking the time to actively be there. It's a day in, day out process. I'm actively doing it every day that I possibly can and being the father to them that my father was unable to be to me.
Of course, what happened to Usher V could happen to anyone, and it has. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reports that nearly 80 people were injured in pool drains over a 10-year period, and 12 have died, most of them children. And this government safety video shows just how strong those pool drains can be. Experts say the solution is simple: a drain cover to keep a child's hair or arms out of harm's way. At public pools, they're now required.
There would not be an entrapment because there's enough water flowing around.
This morning, it's not clear if the pool Usher Raymond V was swimming in had a safety cover over the drain or how long the child was under. Usher's divorce was a bitter one. He sued for custody of his 2 children and won. But after this accident, we're hearing all kinds of reports that his ex-wife has called for an emergency custody hearing this week. Robin?
Okay, Steve, we're going to bring in ABC News Chief Legal Affairs anchor Dan Abrams. And we heard Steve talking in the report about public pools. Of course, what happened yesterday was in a private pool. But there's legislation to help prevent this from happening.
Well, there's a federal law that applies to public pools or pools at hotels, etc. And it was specifically intended to prevent this kind of accident, meaning a child getting caught in the suction of a drain. And there are really 2 main purposes behind the law. Number 1 is to ensure that the drains are the proper type of drains. And number 2, to make sure there's a way to turn off the system. One of the problems that we've seen in case after case is that someone gets caught in a suction and there's no way to turn off the pool. And so that's another one of the requirements in this new federal law.
And knowing where that switch is, especially if you have a home pool. And if you do have a pool in your backyard, you have some covers here. I mean, how do you know if you're
That's right.
safe?
So the most important issue, as you can see on these, is that all of the new drains these days are made domed as opposed to flat. You saw in that video we were just watching that a lot of the older drains were flat, and as a result they can get completely covered by someone's hand or hair or something else like that. The idea behind having these domed covers is that you can protect against that. But one of the most important things is making sure that there's upkeep, meaning you can have a perfectly good drain cover like this one, which is domed, and it can be broken or in disrepair. And that's a really big problem. So it's not just having the right equipment, it's also making sure that the upkeep is there as well.
Great things to keep in mind, Dan. Appreciate it very much.